Yeah, good morning, students. My name is Dr. Gisela Siririka. I'm a tutor for Basic Information Science. And today's presentation is based on the examination for April, August, and November 2021. Okay? I'm your tutor for that. To start with our presentation, I would love to look at the module outcomes. In other words, these are the exam's outcomes. What you should be able to know at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of April examination, end of August examination, end of November examination. What are you supposed to know as a student? You should be able to describe the basic information concepts, the library procedures and issues. You know, there are different concepts when it comes to basic information science. You need to know them. You need to differentiate between fiction and non-fiction. You know, fiction refers to stories, non-fiction refers to subjects, based subjects. Okay, subjects, let me say subjects. You should discuss the categories of fiction and non-fiction, and you should be able to discuss the importance on developing a reading culture, okay? You should be able to differentiate between the internet and the World Wide Web. All these things are clear in your study guide. Make sure that you just take your study guide, you read them, you understand them, you put it in your context, you put it in your own words. You should be able to explain the computer information and library concepts, for example. You should be able to tell me what a computer is. Log in, log out, what does it mean? Library, what is a reference resource? What is a journal? What is a mass media? Fiction, non-fiction. You should be able to explain these concepts. You should be able to define them. You should be able to discuss how to develop a reading habit. You know, in Namibia, we have a reading problem. How do we develop that reading habit? We have that, the reading culture is lacking in our country. How can we develop it? Okay? You should be able to make a difference between scanning and skimming. Okay, you name the rules of handling and caring for books. When you enter a library, what are the rules in that library? How are you supposed to handle a book when you take it home or when you are in the library? Describe the value of participating in a readathon and other reading exercises. In Namibia, we have the readathon activity. How are we supposed to do this? Describe how people are doing it in schools. Different schools are participating in this. How is it done? And other reading exercises. Explain how to evaluate information retrieved from internet sources. There are certain criteria to be followed. You need to explain them. You also need to explain how to evaluate information retrieved from books, the internet sources, and then from books, and then from newspaper articles. You need to know those criteria. They are different. Okay? You should be able to name and discuss the 10 main Dewey Decimal Classification, what we call DDC. You need to name them and then to discuss them. I will only ask you 10, they are more than 10, but the main ones are only 10, okay? You need to explain the layout of a newspaper. Tell us the layout of a newspaper. A newspaper is something which is in your hands every day. What is the layout of a newspaper? Explain the features of different kinds of newspaper. We have different kinds of newspapers in our country. We have the Sun, the Namibian, the Algemene Zeitung, the Republican, you know. Now you should tell us the features of these newspapers, whether it is weekly, whether it is a daily newspaper or a yearly newspaper, you know, all that. I don't think that you will find a yearly newspaper, okay? But very interesting. You can even see that to the learners. They will tell you that, no, ma'am, you made a mistake. There is no yearly newspaper, okay? Interesting. Then it will be a topic for discussion. Explain the purpose of pamphlets and magazines. You explain how to go about compile a picture of collection to illustrate the theme. This is to do with the rights, no? The rights of human rights, okay? Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of educational games. You know, you should also know this. What are the advantages for our learners to use a game? What are the disadvantages? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? When it is good, when it is bad, okay? Explain the database management system. Differentiate between primary and secondary sources. Describe the advantages and disadvantages of mass media, and you describe how to search in atlases for answers to given subject reference questions, especially subjects like social studies, geography, history, you know. Now, what is the Dewey Decimal Classification and how does it work? This system organizes books on library shelves in a specific and repeatable order that makes it easy to find any book and return it to its proper place. If you know Dewey Decimal Classification, you will know where to put the book. For me, if I borrow a book from a library, I know where to take it. Once done, you know where to take it, where you have to take it. If you know the Dewey Decimal Classification, if you know those numbers, that 100, okay, 100 is reference materials, you know these things. It's an encyclopedia, it's a dictionary, it should go there. If it is 200, it's religion, I should put it there. If it is 400, it's a language, I should put it there. If it is 800, it's history, I should put it there. You should know these things. If you know it, it will be very easy. If it's 500, science, I should put it there. Okay. Oops. What is it? Oh, how does it work? The Dewey Decimal Classification attempts to organize all knowledge into main 10 classes, okay? This Dewey, it arranges books in 10 classes. The 10 main classes are each further subdivided into 2 main 10 divisions, and each division into 10 sections, giving the 10 main classes. And today we are not going to look at those subsections. We will only look at the main sections, meaning that I will not ask a question on the subsections. I will only ask on the main section, the Dewey itself. The classes are as follows. Technology, what is it? Okay, there they are. The 10 main classes for Dewey Decimal Classification. 00 is computer science, knowledge and systems. The 100 is philosophy, okay? 200 is religion. 300 is social sciences, sociology and anthropology. And 400, language. 500 is science. 600 is technology. 700 is arts and recreation. 800 is literature, rhetoric and criticism. And 900 is history. Meaning that if you look for a science book, you go to 500 class. In the library, you will find 5 point what, then you know it's science, it's a science shelf, I should put it here, or I should get it here. Language, if I need a book, Shiherero in Kwekwe Kobab, in Shukwanyama, you go to that shelf, which is 400, okay? It will be 400 point what, it depends on the arrangement of books in that library of that specific area where you are. Now, how to evaluate information retrieved from internet sources. If you get information from the internet, how do you evaluate that resource? How do you know that resource is good? Okay? The scope. What items are included in the resource? Okay? What is in that resource? The content. Is the information fact or opinion? Is that just someone's ideas, opinion, views, or is it facts, which is in that book? That's the site. Now, this one is a resource, it's not a book, okay? Does the site contain original information or simply links, a link from another, just some of the information is just putting a lot of links there, or is the information which you can read, okay? The accuracy, is the information in the resource accurate, okay? Precise. The authority, who's the author of or the creator of this information? Who is responsible for the content? I have this information, I need this information, but who is the author? Who created it? Who is responsible for this content which I need? Is there any indication of author's education, other publications, professional experience in the topic written about? All these things will tell you to trust the information or not. Okay? Does the author have standing in the field? Okay? Background, information, experience in the field? Is the information verifiable? Can one verify this information? Can the information be able to be checked? Can you check it? Currency, the quality or state of being current. Is this information new? Can one change this information? Is the resource updated or static? Is it dynamic? If it is updated, how frequently does this occur? The information need to be updated. For example, if you talk of like COVID. COVID has been here in 1918 according to research, but is it updated if you compare to this to this one of today? You look at how the information is updated, or the information is revised or rephrased and all that. Uniqueness is the content of the resource available in other forms. The quality of being the only one of its kind, or you can find this information somewhere, in another form. Now, how do you develop a reading habit? We have that problem in Namibia. Our learners, they don't like reading. Not just learners, teachers, everyone, we don't like reading. I don't like reading. I can read non-fiction books. I'm good in reading a newspaper. I'm good in reading a magazine. But when it comes to fiction, when it comes to a story, our people are lacking this. You should read for fun and compelling books. We need to find books that really makes you want to read and keep you going. You cannot just read a book and you are not interested. You won't finish it. You will just read one page and leave it. You read a book which is interesting to you. And if you are nowhere near a book, try to find something to read, okay? We should try to read even a newspaper, a magazine, a novel, etc. Meaning that I'm on the right track. For me, I can read newspapers, okay? The important thing is that the book you choose should be at your level, okay? Don't be in grade 4. A grade 4 learner is given a book, a grade 12 book to read. No, don't give them the book like Shakespeare. No, it should be at their level. It should be at their interest, at that level of their level. Grade 1 book can be a grade 4 book for them. Grade 4s, grade 5 books for the grade 5. You look at their level. You know the better. You know which books are good for them. Don't choose a book too high for your level because it will just waste your time. You read a book and you don't understand. What is the need of reading? Read something which is interesting to you, something which you understand. Don't give up if you find that you cannot complete the task in the first place. Don't be ashamed. Reading a book is not an easy thing. Don't give up. Just try again and again and again. Just try. Remember, winners never quit. You just have to try again and again until you achieve it. You read first the first page, the second page. After a week, half of the book. After a month, whole book. But next time you will finish it within a month. Don't put too much pressure on yourself when you are reading. Relax. If you find yourself being stressed while reading a book, don't continue reading under pressure. Don't read under pressure. If you see that you are under pressure, leave it. Okay? Reading is for pleasure and not for pressure. Okay? So don't push yourself too hard until you might quit reading forever. If you really do that, you will never like reading. Before you start reading a book, look through the table of contents to form an idea of what the book is about. In storybooks or fictional books, there will be also a short description of the book at the back. You look at the back, you read about the book. Especially for me, I like that when you are in the library, you just look there at the back. If you like the story, you take the book. If you don't like it, you leave it, you go for the next book. You can look at the description to get a better idea of the book's content. Now, let's make a difference between scanning and skimming. What is skimming? Skimming is a technique that includes reading the introduction, the headlines, or the first phrase of the paragraph. You read through a piece of writing quickly to see what it's about. You skim a text at first sight and decide whether to read it in full or not. When you just skim, you will decide that whether you want to read a book or not. While, on the other hand, scanning, it refers to looking over the whole text quickly in search of a specific information. For example, there is a question and you want to answer that question. Then you just go through to check where the answer is. You try to find answers to specific questions. That is scanning. Okay? Skimming is to get the main idea, is to know the general overview of the book. And scanning is to locate a specific fact or a piece of information. Notice only the clue words. You are just looking for that answer, for that word. Who is the president of Namibia? You are just looking for that name, Dr. Hage Geingob. The disadvantages of educational games. Educational games have advantages and disadvantages, and I could see that a lot of students don't get the disadvantages. Then I said, let me talk about it so that we can get an idea. The physical strain, it put physical strain on your brain. It is easy for children to feel addicted to computer and online games, and they will sit in a certain spot for hours playing. Our kids today, they will sit the whole night just playing games. That will put stress on themselves, okay? Because they are addicted. This can result in neck pain, back pain, eye strain, headache, fatigue, and mood swings, because you are playing this game and you are not winning, and then this learner will be stressed. You will have mood swings. To avoid these physical symptoms, encourage children to take breaks from the game. Yes, when they are playing a game at home, as a parent, have the responsibility of telling your child the right and wrong. They must know that it's not good to just play the game the whole day or the whole night. And they must also know that when you are playing a game, you will lose or you will win, one of the two. You cannot just win. Mental effects. It has mental effects on the brain of the learners, yourself. Educational games can affect children mentally. For instance, children maybe want to play until they win or advance in the game. Can you see? This determination can cause low self-esteem or aggressive behavior, especially if children keep losing at the game. When they lose this game, they will have that low self-esteem, the inferior complex. They will feel that I'm stupid, I'm not good like all the others. They will be aggressive at home. A child is just becoming angry, want to fight, because the child is losing that game. We need to tell them there should be rules. Overuse of games can cause social isolation and poor social skills, when these learners are using this, overusing the games, they will stay on their own, isolating themselves. They don't want to play with others because they are stressed. They don't have the social skills to communicate. The interpersonal relationship is not there because you are just there on your own. You are concentrating on this game. You don't have time for others. You close all the doors because you are there inside. You need to win. You don't want to stay with others. You are just isolating yourself. No social skills will be developed. It will be very poor, We should try to discourage these type of things. Make sure that the child is with others, playing with others, other games, better games, okay? It is important for your child to interact with the world around him and spend time with his friends and family. That is what you need to tell the child, that you cannot just be on the game, sitting there alone, stressing yourself. You need to socialize with your family. You need to interact with your family around you, your friends. You need to be with others, not to be on your own like that. That's not healthy. It is a waste of time. Games can waste time. Can also be it take away time from your child could spend studying. That child could have studied, but now the child is just busy playing the game. And the child is not even participating in social events. The child is not even active. The child is not studying. The child is just playing the game. You should make sure that you have rules for your child about this gaming, okay? Have rules. Make sure that your child understands when to play, what to play, and how to play. Let him know what he needs to finish his homework. Before you start your game, you finish your homework, you study before you play your game, We should make sure that there are rules. You do your homework, you study, and then you play your game. And your game, there should be rules about it also. Set time limits for playing educational games to prevent him from wasting time, okay? You should set time for him. This is the time of playing the game, this is the time of studying. There should be time. The game time should maybe just be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, not the whole day. I'm talking as if I'm not having the same problem with my kids at home. Negative behaviors, it also lead to negative behaviors. If a game requires children to shoot at objects or people, it may encourage violence. Can you see? Now the child is playing this game which says that they must shoot, then the child will shoot. Your child may want to copy some of this behavior with friends or family members. They want to do this to others. Before giving your child an educational, investigate its content. We must know the content of that game. If something within the game is unpleasant, you can either prevent your child from playing it or talk about the game before it, okay? You look at the game. If it is not pleasant, talk to the child and stop it. Let your child know that it is only fantasy, make-believe, fake, and that you shouldn't demonstrate this X in real life. Tell your child that this is just a game. It's just something fake. They should not demonstrate it in real life. They should not think that it's something true. Okay, that was it. Very short, to the point. Now, if you need help, if you don't understand, if you need assistance, you contact me. When? Monday to Friday. What time? From 17 hours to 22 hours. It means that is from 5 o'clock in the afternoon up to 10 o'clock in the evening. Weekends, 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. You can contact me. If you don't understand, if you have a problem, don't be scared. I will help where I can. The exam format is 2 hours for each paper. And then a question paper consists of 4 questions. Total marks is 100. I thank you.